if I pronounce that correctly. Keith Lilly, let's hear it for Keith Lilly, who will probably help us fulfill our Sunday obligation today. Keith?
You're on your own for your Sunday obligation. As we've heard Dennis so eloquently talk about the ethos and the pathos of what to look for in a candidate. He also mentioned the logos. And if you had fulfilled your Sunday obligation, you had heard a little bit about the logos. Because the scriptures tell us that the logos, of course, is the word.
In archaic logos.
The what?
In archaic, in Greek, it's in archaic, hein logos. In the beginning was the word.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
And the word was with God, and the word was God. And in this election time, some of our choices, as you decide upon which candidate, some people vote based upon the issues. They're issues driven, and that should be, because the issues are important. We got a lot of problems facing the nation today. And one of the other ones is what Dennis was talking about, which is the actual character of each particular candidate. And it's something that we need to look at very hard. And as the campaign progresses, as our other friend was talking about, the mudslinging will transpire. There's no way to get away from that, unfortunately. I think that the campaign should be more about issues than about how unqualified my opponent is. It should be about, here's what the problem is, and here's what the solution is. But unfortunately, we all know how politics go, and it doesn't really go that way. So what I'm asking you to consider today is to consider, as you consider the qualities that make up a candidate, also consider why you're on the issues that you're on. What is it that drives you to support or reject certain issues? We got the war in Iraq, we got the pro-life or the abortion issues, we got the economy with a debt that is absolutely running out of control. And all of these are demanding leadership that we wonder if there's anybody able to step up and to fulfill that leadership. We can't really be talking about the old president and the mess he's left us with, because of course he inherited that mess, and then that guy inherited that mess, and on it goes. So what we have are decisions that need to be made. And the point here that I'm going to try to get to in the last 60 seconds here is then, how do we get to that point? What is it that drives us to make the decisions that we make? How is it that we come to make the choices that we make? And it's all relevant to what Dennis was talking about. What is our pathos and what is our ethos? What are the ethics that drive us? How is it that we think? How is it that we live our lives? And the character that we represent as individual voters, we look for in the men that we elect to office to represent us and to make the decisions that make this country great and have the opportunity to make this country great. So be thinking about those things as the election draws closer, and we got to make a decision on the issues and on the candidates. Thank you.
It's with a particular sense of personal pleasure that I introduce to you the person who had the idea for this little speaker's corner, and that's John Wren, W-R-E-N, just like the Sir Christopher Wren back in London, who may have gone to Speaker's Corner for all we know. We have our own Wren coming here to Denver Speaker's Corner. Let's welcome John Wren.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, I would not miss being here. This grew out of a group that got together to fight Amendment 29 in 2002 that would have killed our wonderful Colorado caucus system. And the group kind of stayed together and tried to encourage participation in the caucus. And if you went to your caucus this year, you can see that our work paid off. We had a huge outpouring of people that attended their caucus. And now we're hoping that new leadership emerges and that every precinct and every district in the state has people that are enthused about the process, and that the next cycle will be even stronger. So one of the reasons we're doing this is to provide a platform for people to come who would like to exercise their skills in standing up in front of people. There's something else that we do Thursday nights that's a lot of fun. It's called Socrates Cafe. And it's sort of like the late night dorm discussion where you talk about life's larger issues, and we don't pick a topic until the night of the discussion so that no one loads up. There's no homework to do. We don't come and talk about philosophy, but we actually try to do philosophy together, to discuss these topics from our own heart. Dennis has suggested the theme for this, and it's kind of true for the Socrates Cafe too, is heart speaks to heart. One of the things I'd like to talk about today is in the Denver Post today, there's an editorial piece by Mark Berlinger, and he's the professor of architecture at the University of Colorado, and he looks at Civic Center, and he's sparked by the series of articles that were done in the Rocky Mountain News. Now, this was in the Denver Post today, but it's actually a Rocky Mountain News piece. They get a page in the Denver Post on Sunday now, and it's called Want to Reanimate Civic Center, Get People to Walk Through It. And he talks about a very interesting fact is that large public spaces like Civic Center here, if the entryways are not put in the proper place, people just don't go through the park, and as a result, it ends up being pretty deserted and people just don't use it. And he's making a proposal for a way to, at a very inexpensive cost, to re-engineer the sidewalks through the park so that people will actually use them. It reminds me of the small college that built a new building, and they had a very wise college president. This is a true story. And they built the building, and rather than put in the sidewalks, they left it surrounded just by the grass for the first few months of school, and they saw where the students walk, and then that's where they put in the sidewalks. And that's what's being suggested that we do here at Civic Center, and I think it would make a huge difference, and I would like to see the City Council discuss this and take action on it. Now, if you have something that's on your mind, something that you think the city or the state should do, or if you have a candidate, a cause, an issue, a concern of any kind, we hope you'll join us here for Denver, what is this called again? Denver Speakers Corner. And Denver Speakers Corner will provide a soapbox for you, and we'll be videoing this each week, putting it up on Google Video or YouTube, so that the people that can't be with us here today personally can get the benefit of what's being shared. You know, the Denver Newspaper Agency is right across the Colfax here from us. And the Denver Newspaper Agency is the home of the Rocky Mountain News and the Denver Post. We have all kinds of little neighborhood newspapers in Denver, but sometimes the voice of the common person has a hard time being heard, and we're trying to provide a forum for that so that if you have something on your mind, you can come down and share it, and who knows what it would lead to. You know, Margaret Mead said that never think that a small group of people can't change the world. Indeed, that's the only thing that ever has. So if you would like to start a small group, come here, tell us about it, and you never know what it might lead to. Well, I'm going to turn it back now to our MC today, and the person that's been so instrumental in getting this going. Without his encouragement, it would not be happening. Denver's own Denver City Auditor, Dennis Gallagher.
That's great. That was, I think we've had a wonderful day. Anybody else want to speak? Anybody got time to come up and speak? Do you want to say a little something? Well, here's the last call then, dear friends, but it's a joy to have been here with you today. To me, the most pleasant experience in all the universe. Human voices, exchanging ideas, exchanging pleasantries, exchanging convivialities. That's the true communication. We're the only creatures on the planet that can do this. We are the ones who have vocal cords and that can share all these ideas. So we hope to see you down here, and thanks a lot everybody who participated today.
All right.
Every Sunday. Yeah,